tell me, you have played so many real people in life. What is the process for doing that? Do you study them? What do you do?
Yeah, study them a lot. You gather everything you can. There's you get all the video footage you can. Usually, production will have somebody that pulls stuff that's not on the web or very hard to get from maybe the local people or the community that have videos they can send you to give it. Because there's all the trial stuff in this where you see him and he's skinnier and his voice has changed and he's off the drugs. And then there's the stuff of, most of the story is set pre that, where he's very bloated. He's full of, he's almost constipated. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
full of drugs and all these things that, so his voice would be, there's one video in particular I found where he was very heavy and bloated and his voice is just a little bit higher. You know what I mean? It's just up there a little more, because when the trial he gets down there a little bit lower and so there's all these things you try and put it together. Which this is like I'd take photos and go, okay, that's a photo of him on a boat drinking with some bikini girls with his kids and all that. There has to be a place in here that I can put that image or that feeling in one of these other scenes. So I'd have a whole collage of stuff. I thought, this is who this man is. We've got a few scenes that we're going to recreate exactly to show I would do him as, verbatim as much as I can. But let's make sure that that matches also the stuff that we're making up in some kind of connective tissue
Do you
way.
like playing real people, or is that
I guess I do because I've played a few of them. I like real life stories. Everest, Rob Hall at the top of the mountain, Ted Kennedy the night of, Chappaquiddick. This one, there's something about them. There's something about them. There's something that forces you to work hard as an actor because if you don't get in the ballpark, it's laughable and it's a crime to even just do it without the effort. So there's something that forces me to engage, body movement, text, all those things that I learned in drama school and focus them in. Um, at the same point, it's very stressful. You know, they all have an opinion and they all have a right to an opinion, and and the broader community has an opinion too because there's so much out there and they can say. So you've got to kind of expect it and inoculate yourself and also accept it.
do you have to side with the person at some point when you're,
Yes,
yeah.
I think it's really important to. I love Bruno Gantz's Hitler in Downfall. You know what I mean? You talk about playing one of the most monstrous figures, in the last hundreds of years, and you go, but yet he made him human, and he made that last week in the bunker really. And so you have to. I mean, I remember listening to this. You can listen to this trial. I listened to it a lot more than watching it, and you can hear that. Oh my God, he got a bit of this. There's some mistakes in this trial, in my opinion. There's no gun. There's no whatever. They got him on a RICO, maybe. So I can talk myself into I'm an innocent man, which helps me in terms of building up that wall of deniability that he has and that he still has. He built a
when
wall.
when things are like still happening, does that
Yeah.
change what you do when you do it? Or, when you're filming this and then you're seeing stuff on the news, how do you
Yeah.
react to that?
I can give you an example that I remember we were shooting one night and somebody sent me a video of some footage that a prisoner had got out of prison on one of their platforms they're using. It was a video of him and there was some threats against him. And I just thought, and it was late at night. I might have been in the car or I just gotten home. I thought, Jesus Christ, imagine if he dies. Imagine if he dies, is what? Because people know that we're making a series about him? So it does affect you, to answer that. It affects you in strange ways, and that's the reality of a living situation. He came out and he said some stuff the other day, and his lawyers did, and you go, it's to be expected. He's got a right to. Of course he's going to. It's like, that's right. He's in jail and he's alive. And you try and prepare yourself for that, Bruce, you do. But there's no bulletproof system. It is what it is.
Well, I think your system works, so keep on doing it, right?
I guess so. I mean, I guess so. You do, it's addictive. He was fun to play as well as exhausting, because most of the time he's a fun guy. The judge in sentencing him for the financial crime said, I saw you 2 weeks after the death of Maggie and Paul at the lawyers' conference, and you were the life of the party. I've known you for 20 years, and yet I've been through all of this. I know what you've really done, but I still don't feel like I know you. He was a fun person to play, but he was very exhausting, and I was happy to close the book on it as well.
Well, thank you so much. I sure appreciate it. And
Thank you very much
congratulations
for
on
your
a job well
questions.
done.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Thank you very much.